We're here again in Monte Carlo for the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. For BMS TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Pete Chandler, CEO of BMS Re. Pete, welcome.
Thank you, Richard. Very good to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So, Pete, the global economic situation, once again, top of the agenda for a lot of people here in Monte Carlo. To what extent do those economic considerations influence the decisions that insurers and reinsurers make?
They will be the underpinning theme of the entire conference. That and Mother Nature, of course. We'll still see what she has in store for us as the hurricane season continues to play out. But if we're not talking about inflation, if we're not talking about supply chain constraints, if we're not talking about wars in Ukraine or still the hangover from the COVID pandemic, then we're not talking about insurance or reinsurance. So I think a lot of those themes will absolutely be top of mind. The great news is there's a lot of capital out there to be deployed. It's going to be the consideration of that cost of capital, given those underlying themes that are going to be very, very influential in this year's convention.
So cost of capital, clearly a very important decision. Risk appetite, I guess, tied in with that. What are those influences there?
Historical perspectives on the ability to underwrite profitable business, I guess. Again, having seen the exodus of certain markets from the property cat arena has just been, we've not seen that before in our industry. And now with the exodus out of California in the personal line space, again, that's just going to put a massive amount of pressure on that marketplace. But again, there are individuals that have capital to deploy. There's new capital that's being brought into our industry every single day, and they will have to weigh those risks and rewards for deploying that capital in certain geographies against certain against certain lines and classes of business.
So against that background, how easy is it to make sure that your clients, the insurers, have got the cover that they need?
Well, that's what we do a lot of. We do a lot of communicating. We do a lot of modeling. We do a lot of analysis, and that's why we look at the portfolio year round. It's not a point in time conversation. It's a year round conversation. It's a strategic conversation. And we're so fortunate to have clients that trust us with their advocacy and our analytical acumen and ability to talk about the business of the business and what is going to help them be better at their own business tomorrow than they are today. So we're excited to have those conversations. And again, different than the most recent conventions, we do believe that the capital situation is going to be different this year, but the cost of capital is going to be different as well. So we've got to bring all that into the algorithms that we come up with to make the most educated, informed decisions.
So in general, the reinsurance industry seems to be in pretty robust health, judging by the comments about the availability of capital. But how sustainable is that?
Well, Mother Nature is going to have a lot to say about that. There's no doubt about it. When we look at the UNL market, it definitely is strong. There's no doubt about it. But also is the ILS market and the cat bond market and other forms of capital. And I think we often talk about at BMS that our job is to go find the most efficient and most effective capital as it exists in the world today, regardless of what form that takes. So we're looking at a lot more hybrid forms of capital. We're looking at a lot more structured covers. We're looking at a lot more parametric covers. And as we've all seen, the cat bond market is really exploding right now. So we just got to deliver the capital in whatever form it takes in the most effective and efficient manner on behalf of our clients. So we're looking forward to that.
Interesting. The cat bond market really exploding at the moment. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the cat bond market, I think as folks look at multi-year covers, now granted, there are some basis risks embedded in that. It's not a perfect product like the UNL product is, but folks will look at it and see that, hey, maybe it makes sense for a portion of our cover. It's more efficient, it's more cost effective in certain cases, and willing to put part of their programs into that marketplace in exchange for a little bit of basis risk and a little bit of price relief. So it's just a matter of, again, looking at the pros and cons of every form of capital as they exist out there today.
Pete, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much, Richard. It's been great to spend part of the morning with you. Really appreciate it.
For BMS TV, I'm Richard Banks.